It's all about the experience, right? So it goes beyond the usual way of conveying information. They're designed to engage attendees and give them other activities that can sharpen memory and can keep them energized. Really, it's about boosting engagement with the attendees and helping to achieve your event's goals. The thing that makes it different than any other type of meeting, which in itself is an experience, is that it gives the attendee a way to be a participant, be an active participant. So it could be the way you present a general session, but it could be something you do during a coffee break or a reception. It could be an optional offsite event. It's something where the attendee is hands-on or given an opportunity to partner with other attendees and share ideas. And then it could be anything like a fun theme for the event or a workshop. It could be something they do afterwards to explore the area, but they are involved, they're active participants, they're creating memories, and they're not just bored sitting through 2 hours of a lecture. I think there's a lot of reasons. First of all, attendees, especially younger attendees, are looking for less traditional ways to receive communication, right? They're so used to other forms of communication and they want to have those experiences. But also the pandemic, it led people to want to get off the Zoom call, interact with each other, and have a shared experience. So I think that's a big reason. And also, there's a lot of information overload. Where if you're a meeting attendee, you also probably have a job and a family and other things, and you have all kinds of sources of information bombarding you. So our attention spans are a little different now, I think. If you think of a traditional meeting where you go into a general session and there's a PowerPoint or somebody talking and there's hours of we're not retaining that, we're not engaged, and frankly, we're bored. So I think that's a big reason. I think it's always been important, but right now it's very popular. And venues are really working to attract meetings and conventions and conferences, right? So they're talking a lot about what there is to do in their area, and we're on board with this. This is how we're trying to differentiate ourselves from other venues and locations. Now meeting planners are seeing the value of working with your venue, working with your destination management organization to find these fun activities and experiences. First of all, you really have to think about why are you doing that? What's the overall goal of the meeting? Look at past meetings and the feedback you get from evaluations. What do you want to do differently? You have to think about your target audience. What do you know about their preferences? Who are they? What are they all about? And try to appeal to those kind of things and be creative. Think outside of the box. You may not have the budget to have a big activity, with a lot of components and moving parts, but is there something you can do? Maybe talk again to your venue. What can we do to make a coffee break interactive? For example, I have a group that's going to be having a cornhole tournament out on our great lawn. And it's just a way to break things up. It's not your traditional icebreaker where you don't really get to interact that much with people, maybe just for a few minutes, that type of thing. Be creative, consult with people that you're working with for ideas. Even your attendees you may have some that are on your committees and things like that that have experienced fun things at other events. But the idea is to focus on active participation. So think things that are going to get you to move, to appeal to your senses, to touch. Again, some of the things that come to mind are games, workshops, demonstrations, those types of things. One of the big things, I think I alluded to it, is general sessions. You may have information you do need to convey in a presentation. There is going to be a lecture component, but they don't have to be 2 hours long. How can you break that up and have these smaller activities during the event? So that's something to give thought to. And again, look to professionals like your venue, but also your destination management organization, your Convention and Visitors Bureau. They know the area, they know vendors, they know people, they've seen it and done it. So there's a wealth of information out there from the people that you're working with. I think some of the major corporations, they have information out there that I've read about. There's online blogs and things that I read for my own inspiration quite regularly. and that type of thing. And certainly I get a wealth of information from my clients, from things that they've done, but also I'm a meeting attendee. I attend a lot of organizational events. I belong to a few professional associations, and it's something I do regularly. So I've experienced these things, but these are a few things that my current clients are going to be doing in the near future. One of them is volunteerism. Have you heard of that? Volunteerism. That's a really big thing. I've worked mostly with associations, and a lot of them have a community service component to the organization itself. They want to give back. So it's a great time to do that, to give back to the community in which you're meeting. I have a client that is doing just that. I've had clients that have worked with local food banks, for example. I have one that is going to be setting up a booth at an event that's happening in Blacksburg soon because they have services that will appeal possibly to the people that will be attending that event. I personally worked with an organization that whose meeting I was attending, doing a Habitat for Humanity project in New Orleans year after Katrina. That created such wonderful memories for me. I really got to know my fellow participants. I made lifelong friends in doing that, people that live all over the country. So those are just a few. And I'd like to mention too that wellness is a really big trend right now in general, creating quiet spaces at meetings for people who need to get away and be alone, have a quiet moment, things like that. And there is a big trend towards outdoor experiences. So those are things to incorporate. You could have a light yoga session before the meeting starts, or schedule a guided nature walk around the venue or at some area, park or attraction. Those are a few things that my clients are doing right now. And we all know culinary experiences are really big. So if you can experience the local specialties and culture in some way, that creates great memories for people.